to my channel. My name's Lizzie. Made a little darker for a better ambience. This this last Spooktacular story, I really wanted to work on my channeling skills with spirit and make it a bit less. I just used one traditional tarot deck, went back old school. So this story is going to be quicker. Remember, if you do want me to continue on with stories with tarot for the holiday season, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for the New Year, just let me know by liking this video or telling me in the comments that you want me to try some holiday stories with spirit and tarot, and I will continue. I'll do a couple just to see if you like it, and I'll go from there. But just let me know if in advance. It would let me know if I should invest a lot of time, a little time. What do you guys like? Anyway, if you want to jump to the story now and skip the setup and how I laid it all out, go to the description box below and find the timestamp, and I will see you there. If not, let's continue on with what I got and how I laid this all out. So this one is going to be called the Hell Train, or Hell Train, I haven't decided. Basically, so I got the Justice card and the Devil. So this is the train conductor, who's literally the devil. We're calling him Damon. Hi, welcome to the train. It's like a exclusive first class way to travel for people who have money or some kind of status. Instead of taking a airplane, there's like private cabins. So this is a train you're going to be on for a couple days or just a night, traveling within a country basically. So the Justice card is the Angel of Death, who we are calling Dahlia. So we have Damon and Dahlia, the actual devil of the Hell Train, who conducts the train, and then the stewardess of the train that shows everybody to the room and serves them, creepy a little bit, got the creepy vibes. That's Dahlia. And instead of doing a full page, I did I'm putting these across the cards instead of having. I did try, and I ended up changing the whole story. So I was like, I'm rewriting. Next, we have an all-girl musical band on this train. Is the first, people meeting the conductor, hi, welcome to the train. They don't know is the Hell Train at this point. This is the all-girl music group called the Flower Girls, and their names are Rosie, Lily, and Daisy. They're actually teens. They've been famous since childhood. They're Disney pop stars. They have a TV show and they play music, but they're very selfish and vain. Everybody on this train has a scandalous past. So their scandal is they got a better offer for a better manager who was going to make them more money and get them more fame. But their original manager wasn't going to be letting them out of their contract, so they framed him as a raper and ruined his life and put him in jail. And so they could move on without penalty. So they're vindictive little bitches, the Flower Girls. But everybody thinks they're innocent. They're peak of their fame, getting on this train. They don't want to deal with people. They're stuck up bitches, yes, private train, woohoo. Alright, second passengers are a married couple, power couple. This is Jay-Z and Beyonce type of thing. One she's pregnant, but this is Luke and Lena Norman. Lena is a socialite. They met in college. She's a rich girl, never had to work a day in her life, has a rich husband now. She lives for being the best in the community, but she's very bored with her life, and she's very vindictive. She spreads damaging gossip and blackmails people for fun. So she's a vindictive little bitch, even though she's pregnant. Lena. And her husband Luke isn't much better, because Luke is a dirty politician who, during his first campaign, ran someone over because he was driving drunk and didn't stop and never turned himself in. So basically he murdered someone. Good guy, right? Anyway, I'm sorry, this is my aunt's shirt. It's very big. She passed away, but I wore it for her on Halloween at some point. It's too warm to wear to work. Next up on the train, we have the Queen of Wands, who is Cynthia Cates, a big-time journalist who also just likes the power struggle. Like, look at her. She's like, I need the power. Narcissist. Enjoys destroying people's lives for profit. Spilling the tea. That gets you to trust them. Spill your secrets. Sometimes even drugs her clients to get them on tape, to get the scoop. Like, she's a dirty journalist. Next up, we have the King of Wands. Instead of making them another married couple, I separated them. This is Logan Luther. He's a business investor, but a very dirty one. He embezzles money, he steals, tax evade, fraud, all the dirty shit. He's a dick too. Next up, we have the Hierophant. This is Moby Matthews, the typical standard false prophet who goes to carnivals and it's like, step right up, I will cure your cancer. I will make you walk again. I am Jesus' son. Full of shit for money. Dirty ass, fake religious person. And last on the train, we have the Star. This, unlike these stuck-up little bitches that are in their prime, this stuck-up little bitch is not in her prime. She's well past her prime, but she was a childhood star. She's trying to, get herself back out there again, but the truth is she's an addict. She's always been an addict. She's got a little bit better control, but she's still an addict. And she's a sex addict. She basically slept with people for parts, just sleeps with people in general, nymphomaniac energy. But overall, she's just an addict, and she's not addict. I don't know why I always say it like that. Fucking New Yorkers. But she's done a lot of shady shit for drugs and stuff, so she's got a sketchy past. So then the details were the Tower and death and rebirth, and I'm like, okay, so they're going to get on this train. They're going to think it's an exclusive train. Shocker, once they get moving, the devil takes his mask off and like, hello, welcome to the hell train. Whether you live or not is up to you, kind of thing. Like, we're going to play a little game, like a little bit of Saw energy here, but not as sick and twisted. So phase 1 of this little game they're going to make them play is the 6 of Wands. We're going to expose all your dirty little secrets. Well, they're going to make them expose their dirty little secrets. And if they don't, you die. And I don't know who's dying. I'm gonna assassinate these at random. At will. That sounds so evil. But that's true. I don't know who's gonna go first. I'm just gonna I'm spitfire this. But phase 1 is like confess or die, pretty much. Truth or dare with a vicious turn. And then phase 2 is choose correctly or die with the 7 of Cups. Like, are you going to choose to be righteous? Are you going to choose to be vain? It's like a test that they don't know is a test. Like, they're going to think that the game's over for a minute. They're going to, go to their rooms and be like, oh, we lived. Now we just got to survive until the devil decides to let us off. Psych! You're being secret tested. Like, this is an individual test. They will be individually tested. And if you fail, you die. Phase 3 is change or die. So, they're going to realize, okay, this game is going to have several layers at this point. So now they're going to test you. They're going to give you an opportunity to redeem yourself. Or are you going to learn from the shit that's been going on around? Because these two aren't going to be like, hey, you're shitty ass fucking fucktards. And me and God made a decision. And this train ride is going to decide whether you're going to heaven or hell. I want your soul, but I can't take it. You have to fail. So this motherfucker is going to be an asshole and try to make you fail in every way. But this one is the one that balances out. She's not for or against either side. She's just there to make sure the game is played fairly. She's the actual one that judges if you die. See what I'm saying? This is like a conscious train. So, again, they're not knowing that this whole thing is about them being shitty-ass people if they haven't figured it out at this point. Guess what? You're dying. And the last part is work as a team or die. Can you take what you've learned and change individually and change how you react to other people and how you treat other people? Can you become a better person for society? Have you redeemed not only yourself, but how you look at the world? Last test. If you don't pass, you die. And if you're left after all those, then you get to happily arrive at your destination with your soul intact. Will any of them? We don't know. Stay tuned for Hell Train. I will see you there. I just need a quick drink. Hi. My name's Dahlia. To you, I look like typical, everyday, average American woman. You wouldn't be threatened or intimidated by my sweet nature and comfortable voice. Everything about me pulls you in. But what you don't know, that underneath this common face that says, yes, you can trust me, I am actually the angel of death. And I am here to tell you a little urban legend about a train called the Hell Train. And this is a real life, while you're breathing, purgatory. A warning for you all entering this digital age where everyone is becoming more selfish and vain, argumentative and angry, and the evil is building in this world. Let this story be a warning. You don't ever want to become a passenger on Hell Train. And here's why. I'm going to tell you a story about 9 souls who, just like you, there's no such thing as a hell train. I could never end up in that situation. I am a good person. I do good things. I'm successful. Look at me. This would never happen to me. I do not deserve the hell train. All 9 of these people said that. I bet you're saying that too. Keep in mind, as you hear about their town, don't let this be your fate. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself, as I often do in these stories. Now, the hell train, of course, can't be something intimidating and scary, or else nobody's going to willingly get on it. So Hell Train actually is a little bit like Iceland and Greenland. They're opposites of each other. So Hell Train is actually the dream train, like the dream boat. Everything you could ever want out of traveling, but for the elite, for the successful, for the people with money that don't want to mingle with society. Will either make you pay your own money in and think that you're doing something only rich people can do, and if you don't have the money, we somehow get you invited. One way, if your soul is meant on this soul train, you will find a seat on it, and as I said, you do not want a seat on Hell Train. You do not want to be one of the 9 passengers in this story. Let's start with the first set of passengers. Now, you all remember the story of the famous all-girl teen pop girl, the Flower Girls, on top prime of their game, selling out stadiums and venues, working every holiday, coming out with records back to back. Couldn't get enough. Filming their TV shows season after season, filming movies of their TV show, had merch in the top of the world. All of a sudden, age 16, bing, gone. All 3 disappear out of nowhere. How is this possible? What happened to them? Will we ever find out? You're about to, because they found their way onto the Hell Train. Nobody is safe from Hell Train. Not the president, not Gandhi, not even Beyonce herself. So, here you have it. Rosie, Lily, and Daisy. I'm sick of traveling and, oh my God, it's the Flower Girls. I just want peace. We need to get on the Royal Route train. Even the name says privilege. Let's not sugarcoat what this is all about. We're not pulling in the most classy people. We're pulling in the most vain people who don't want to be, who think they're better. So and the conductor, who we are calling Damon, but as you can quite figure out, if it's called the Hell Train, who do you think the conductor of the Hell Train could be? And his name is Damon, the devil himself. Yes, that's correct. When you first meet Damon, he's very sweet, charming. If you're gay, you're going to want to lick him. If you're female, you're going to want to lick him. If you're a guy and you're straight, you're going to want to be him. Oh, yes, this is going to be a great trip. This train is beautiful, has everything I could ever want. I'm not going to be bored. I'm going to have privacy, and I have eye candy. Or, oh my God, this guy is cool. I can't wait to hang out with him while I'm on this train. And then you have me, your friendly stewardess. I will be the sweetest, most mothering, most angel of your life. I even shine a little bit when you first see me. I need you to get on this mother effing train, and I need you to do it quickly. So I like to, I like the flair. So, as Damon's approach, I also like to play to my crowd. I'll wink at a girl, I'll wink at a guy, whatever makes you get up them steps and face your purgatory. That's my job. Do you know what else is also my job on this train? And I'm not going to pretend not to enjoy it. Being angel of death sometimes has its perks. You all like reality TV. For me, this is like an exclusive season of an exclusive reality show. And for a temporary time, I get to leave my duties and come down to earth and watch it all play out. And I am the one that decides if you get to die today or if you get to continue on to the next. Again, getting ahead of myself. Let's continue on with the passengers. I have a little bit of a gab problem when I come to Earth. I don't get much talking time as the angel of death. Most people run from me. Or they just want to talk about themselves. Next up, we have Luke and Lena Norman. Oh my God. The it couple of New York City. Everybody, eyes on them. Their wedding was perfect. Now they have a perfect baby brewing in her perfectly round belly. She throws the best parties. He makes the most money on anyone in the block. They brag about everything. But the truth is, they have a lot of dirty little secrets of their own. And they make it a point to expose everybody else. Will Hell Train expose their dirty little secrets? I think so. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's meet the next passenger. So we have 3. Number 4, we have the brilliant, supposed brilliant Cynthia Cates. Oh my God. This woman, she's just always in the right place at the right time. She is on every channel that pays the best. She is spitting the news at you in a way no one else can, and she draws you in. Oh, Cynthia, she's good at what she does. But the heart, Cynthia, it's a little dark. Hence why she's on the Hell Train. Let's move on. Up next, we have Logan Luther, the infamous money. Most, outranking Bill Gates, money man of the century. How dare he wind up on the hell train? What could he possibly have done that he couldn't have paid his way out of? We shall see. Up next, you have Moby Matthews, the saint, the high roller, the one who talks directly to Jesus, hand of God. Supposedly. But the hand of God wind up on the soul train? Of hell? Probably not. I'm getting excited about this game already. And the story, as if I'm reliving it all over again. I don't get many perks as the angel of death. Just let me have my glory. Again, you can all spare yourselves by not winding up like any of these people. And last up, Roxy Reynolds. What a tragic disappearance story. Another childhood star in the same year. All these big, hotshot, famous people just up and ripped from the earth, and nobody knows what's going on, and nobody puts any of it together. How does that even work? With some of them being in the journalistic world and in the eyes of the world, how do they just not recognize that they all disappeared on the same day at the same time and all boarded the same train? How is this possible? How is the angel of death walking on this earth with you and not taking any of your souls possible? Because they will it so. So you don't know what they don't want you to know. So the only way you know about the hell train is if you find this post or you make your way onto this hell train. And do I have to say it again, or shall we digress? Don't wind up on the hell train. So, at this point, everybody's on the train. We charm you. We give you some drinks. We feed you this elaborate feast. Everything you could possibly think of or ever want displayed out in the most, the best cruise ship display. Go to your room and you have towels on your bed and your favorite animal and your favorite smell is in the room. We spare no expense on the hell train. We aim to please in the first couple hours. Dreamland is yours. Go ahead, swim in the pool. Go ahead, feast on the food. Go ahead, get drunk. Try any drug you want, any drug of choice. Anything that's going to pull out that, buttering you up face. Me, good old Damon, sit back in the conductor, what I call the conductor lounge, which, by the way, we don't get upgrades. I don't think that's fair. I should write a letter to my editor. But anyway, so as they're all getting in and we're buttering them up, this is when shit starts to hit the fan. See, once the train starts moving and it's past a certain point, this train does not stop until the game is finished. There's no getting off it. There's no opening windows. There's no opening doors. You are confined in the areas we want you to be confined in. So, just as quickly as you've entered the train of dreams and you're having fun, everything before you becomes a nightmare. The food becomes rotted. There's blood and ghosts and screaming and gore and you're running. Anything we have to do to get you all in one room. Seal you in. You feel safe together. You all got whatever makeshift weapons. And me and good old Damon, we're sick of wearing the mask at this point, so we just blow in all the doors and scare the shit out of all the passengers and say, he's the devil and I'm the angel of death, and you might die today, you might not. It depends on you. We are going to play a game, And this game has 4 stages. There is no losing. The only way to keep your life is to win. So loss is death. That is up to you. You don't get any clues about any phase, and you're going to have to go with the flow. You have no control. You have no say. Welcome to Hell Train. Dun, dun, dun! And it becomes kind of like an escape room situation. Me and good old Damon flee the coop, let you guys panic it out for a while. And when you're calm and realizing, oh, we can't get out of this room. Oh my God, none of the doors work. Oh, what are we going to do? And then, in true Saw fashion, because, when you're inspired, you're inspired. We roll with it on Hell Train. It changes sometimes. Sometimes we go with cartoon voices just to mindfuck people. This lesson is a hard one to learn. We like to have a little fun. So, this phase, in order to leave the room, everybody has to confess their sins. And I'm going to confess the sins of all the people who didn't make it through phase 1. And I'm only going to tell you the sins of those as they don't make it. Because the point of Hell Train is you get to keep your secrets and your dark past if you make it through all rounds. So will any of these characters remain a mystery to you in the end? We shall see. Do any of these people deserve to make it off Hell Train? As they're walking, my first instincts, no, definitely not. Hell no. Well, that one's going to die in the first round. I wasn't very hopeful, but I ended up being pleasantly surprised. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go to phase 1. Panic mode, panic room. Are you going to expose your secrets? Each person gets a clue about their secret. And with that clue says you have such and such time to tell me your secret and say it out loud to the room. And a lot of these people on this train, although they're famous, although they have their wives together, although they're wealthy, they have very dark, very, very dark and deep secrets. And in this phase, they're still going through that. This isn't real. They're fucking with us. You've got half of them like, yeah, but how did the train and all this stuff turn into all this stuff? Like, I think it's real. I think we should do what they say. Then you have the other half like, oh, this is bullshit. It's like, look at Hollywood. They can make anything happen. It's parlor tricks. We're being filmed. This is a TV show. Where's the cameras? Not the brightest tools in the shed, and some of them are right on the money. But who do you think out of the 9 passengers was the first one to... Do you think any of them went? And how do you think they die? We'll get to that shortly. So let's review. We got the flower girls and their dark secrets. We got the husband and wife expecting a baby and their dark secrets. We got the journalistic powerhouse and all of her secrets. We got the money man and his dark secrets. All these secrets. Did I expose them all? Do you know the true story? Are the ones that they need to expose in this game expressed out of my mouth as of late? We shall see. Well, it turns out that phase 1 went rather well for the passengers. Turns out they weren't too vain or narcissistic to yell out their dirty little secrets. So for phase 1, everybody got to live. The escape room lifted. This is where we like to give them a little bit of false sense of security. See, the whole point of Hell Train is to shake you up, to get you out of your comfort zone, and to change you. We only have a certain amount of time to do that. So for the time being, after your secrets are exposed, everyone's exhausted. It's a heavy weight. Everyone's tired. Okay, you're free to go to your rooms. But everybody happily goes into a deep sleep. But is it a deep sleep, though? This is where we display several versions of what they've done that wasn't expressed or admitted in the room. We test them in their sleep. They think it's a dream. Subconscious choices. The heart of someone is really... Most of these people that make it to Hell Train are very good at lying and manipulating to really see how they react. We need them to have their guard down. So in sleep, it's a lot like a video game. And some of these people don't wake up. Do you think any of the passengers on Hell Train didn't wake up? If you said yes, the answer is correct. Phase 2, there's always at least one that doesn't make it. That isn't ever going to be able to kick that old habit. You see, the first step and the saddest one to go was, of course, Roxy Reynolds. Even in sleep, she couldn't deny the beast. She couldn't say no to the drugs. In her sleep, there was an angel, and they said, all you have to do is take my hand and I will take all of your addiction. I will take all your cravings. You won't have to go through withdrawal. You can walk your life for the rest of your days free of your addiction. Or I can give you an endless supply of drugs for the rest of your life and you never have to give up your habit. And Roxy picked up endless supply of drugs. And so for it, she suffered an extremely painful overdose. And in that overdose, she recognized that her soul now belonged to good old Damon forever. And that she will become now one of the permanent souls of Hell Train. See, once you get on Hell Train and you lose, you never get off Hell Train. That's a little side print. We also don't disclaim before you get on. So, although we expose Roxy as an addict and she pretty much slept her way to the top, that was pretty generic, that was pretty well known. But what you don't know about Roxy is she liked unavailable men, particularly married men, beginning all the way back from childhood with every stepfather her mother ever had, because like her mother, she also was an addict and a sex addict. So for years and years and years and years, Roxy got her rocks off by destroying families, not only seducing husbands, but then slowly leaking the information to the wives and watching the family falling apart and the game of getting the husband to leave the wife for them and then being the one to reject them. She liked toying with people in the love department. She wasn't a very good person. Not only was she riddled with addiction, but she did that before she ever was an addict. She enjoyed breaking hearts, and for it she lost her luster for life, her passions for life, and ultimately her soul to the devil on the whole train. Well, if the shoe fits there, Roxy, no pun intended. All right, so do you think we had any more takers in Dreamland? Surprisingly, yes. I was a little disappointed in the results of Phase 2. Usually, someone dies in Phase 1 and then they're all scared shitless and do better in Phase 2, but we're a little backwards this time. No one died in Phase 1, so they're a little cocky, and everybody's in their individual areas, so nobody knows who's dead quite yet, so we had to think on our feet. Who else do you think didn't pass the test? This one's going to be hard to swallow, but it's good old Lena Norman, the one who's pregnant, who in sleep, she was given a choice. Your child can be born healthy. You could get off this train at the next stop. You don't even have to play the game because you have an innocent life inside of you. This is your one get out of jail free card. Take it now and live for your baby. And be witness to what happened here today. Or you could stay and play the game, and if you win, I will make you the most famous, most loved, lusted after, best body, best woman in this world. Every man will want you, every woman will want to be you. All you gotta do is make it through all 4 rounds. Are you gonna play, or are you gonna save yourself and your baby? What's your choice? And sadly, Lena always had a dark secret. See, Lena might be a socialite and be well liked in her little city area and be the it girl of New York City. But her mother is a famous supermodel who always made her feel like shit. And so instead of using that as a tool to become a person and to free herself from that pain and not allow it to change her heart and make her bitter, it did the opposite. And like Roxy, who liked to break up marriages, Lena just liked to break people in general. If you crossed her, if you pissed her off, if she just didn't like you, if you were prettier than her in any way or better than her in any way, she would make sure that society and her as a socialite, in charge of a lot of foundations, you never got invited, you got outcasted, you got fired from your job. She would push you out of the city easily. She was a manipulative bitch. We knew this about her, but what we didn't know about her was, through all the years of scandal, Lena had a very, very big secret about her mother. See, when Lena was about 19, she came home from the holidays and found her mother had passed away from a drug overdose. Remember, her mother was famous, so she inherited the kingdom pretty much. The truth was, that wasn't an accidental overdose. Lena came home early, unseen by anyone else, and killed her mother for all of her stuff. So Lena is actually a murderer, and because she killed her own mother, she didn't deserve to be a mother in the first place. So, although it seemed cruel, that baby was protected. There was never a baby. That was also one of her secrets, not exposed. She had a surrogate, and she was wearing a moon bump for the public. How horrible do you think we are? Do you think we would let an innocent baby on Hell Train? No. She was a faker, belly acher. She didn't want to admit to the world that she couldn't carry a baby, and she had a secret surrogate. So everybody on the train also thought she was pregnant, so I thought it would be fun to maybe make you think she was pregnant too. So, when she disappeared, the world's like, oh my God, pregnant woman. Liar, her baby lived. Their baby lived, I should say. Doing fine, adopted in a good home, and won't grow up to be a vain asshole. Her husband, however, did survive the night, and that's when he realized, oh shit, this game is real. My wife died. How do you think Lena died? You have Roxy over here, who died from an overdose because she was a junkie and chose her drugs. And you have Lena over here, who chose to not save her baby and get herself out of danger and picked fame and status. How do you think she died? Guess. Throw it out there. She's very dramatic. She wanted to be seen. So they took her skin off slowly, piece by piece, for every soul she crushed, for all she had done, for the death of her own mother, for money. She suffered. It was like being scalped. So if you can imagine when Luke woke up and saw his wife with no skin, and just like, what is under your skin, and really creepy eyeballs, and we kind of took her lips off too because she talked too much. So, yeah, she suffered. You get it? Depends on your crime. Depends on the level of dark in your heart and how you die. How much do you deserve to suffer? This is Hell Train. This is not pat you on the head train. May I remind you. You never want to meet the angel of death on the Hell Train or Damon on the Hell Train. You want to meet me, the angel of death, in a hospital room, in your bed, in a car accident, or whatever. I make it peaceful. I make it happy. I snuggle you. I'm soothing. But these are dicks. They get not. No snuggles. Nothing. Catch my grift? You don't want to wind up on Hell Train. I will keep saying this. As much as I love coming to Earth, it's not exactly hilarious to watch people die. I'm in the middle about it. So, you got 2 deaths for phase 2. So, 9, 8. What do we do? So, do we keep them locked in our room at this point? Do we want to keep isolating them? Or are we going to see, what happens when, they start figuring shit out? Well, it wouldn't be so fun if we just kept them all together. So, of course not. We let them out of their rooms. Panic mode, it's morning. Oh my God, my wife's dead. Or, oh my God, where's Roxy's dead in her room. Why do you think they died? And then, oh my God, I had the craziest dreams. Oh, me too. I'm hungry. We gotta feed you. But we can't make the next round too damn easy for you either. So, along with your breakfast, your eggs and your French toast and your sausages and your bacon and all the things that you love, comes the little side of, we drug you. It's okay though. It's not something that lasts forever. It's temporary. And it might force you to tell the truth and might alter how you view the world and things in general. A little bit of manipulation, just to spice it up. Like most of these people live off of manipulation. Life is not fair, neither is Hell Train. It's really, really not fair. So phase 3 is all about, did they learn anything yet? Let's see. This is like the pop quiz of the test. This is like, all right, is anything sinking in there? Are we making progress? How are we doing, Damon? Are we like, yes, good team, go team, go? Or are we like, bunch of morons? Because that's normally how it goes. We take bets. We get bored around here with the same, repetitive, I'm a selfish, vain asshole and I just can't seem to learn. Do you think they're all like this on this train? For my sanity, I hope not. But I was already there. I'm just doing this for dramatic effect. I am dramatic. Angel of death. Hello. You're not running from me this time. I'm eating it up. Okay, so phase 3, change or die, I like to call it. We, wait for you to get nice and doped up, comfy, all sitting together, laughing, turn on some music, get you dancing. This is when, sexual tensions come out. All the deadly sins at play again. Woo you, loosen you up. Tests. Same exact test as the sleep test as getting on this train and the reasons why you got on the train. Like, are you just going to resort back to like, oh my God, we survived. Like, I'm going to be a judgy asshole still. So we test you in whatever way we can for that. It's not very creative. It's not very artistic. But you will die if you don't pass. So, unfortunately, in phase 3, Luke went to meet his wife. Luke did not pass. See? Me, I like to be a little crafty and speed things along. Especially if I'm not a fan of certain souls. So, as the train stewardess, because they haven't quite figured out who I am. They figured out who Damon is at this point, but who is this creepy lady? Because the only ones who figured me out yet are the ones who are dead. So they can't be like, hey, spilling the tea, she's the angel of death, don't get too close. You know. Oops. Another disclaimer you don't get before you walk on the train. So, I decided to see if Luke would, like his wife, fall for a little side hustle. So I went over there, buttered him up in my own artistic way, put him under my wing and was like, Luke, I like you. I feel bad about your wife. I don't want to see you end up like her. She was a bitch, but you're not. You want to end up like her? Here's your chance. You could get off this train right now. You could save yourself. But everyone else on this train has to die. But I will let you off. I won't tell Damon. I put my hand on the door and I said, I'll let you off right now. But you decide if your life is more important than theirs. And he said, do it. So I opened the train and I kicked him off it and he splatted against a tree. It's just karma. I wasn't even trying that time. So, bye Luke. Still again, he doesn't get a free pass off the hell train just because he didn't die on it. I get crafty. So, dead soul Luke's spirit attached to the tree. No, I will not go. I'm like, yes, you fucking will. A little tug of war. It got interesting for a minute. Got the adrenaline going. I even broke a little sweat. Thanks, Luke, for the thrill. Wasn't as boring as last time. And like round 2, I was a little disappointed. Because good old spiritual Mobley, the hand of God. And like Luke, I wanted to play with Moby in this sense. Let's see how much of the holy actually stuck and if he was really picking anything up. So me, being the handy-dandy stewardess I am, and Moby being a bit heavier set, knowing he's got a sweet tooth, I bring him beer and his favorite sweet, and I sit him down and I say, Moby, you're a prophet of God. You spend your life healing. Don't you think that maybe you could just go around and help all of your fellows here heal? Help them release and repent their sins and free them so that you can all get off this train together? You could do it, Moby. Maybe that's why you are on this train. Maybe God is calling you to step up and be a leader and bring them to the light. And he thinks about it, They're never going to listen to me. I don't know how I would save them, muttering. But then it sinks in. The God complex, and his ego kicks in, and he's like, yes, I'm going to save this group. And then I get excited because I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make some popcorn. This is going to be damn good. He's going to go touch their heads, and he's going to be like, aye, get rid of you, demon spirits, or whatever he does on his crazy shit show that he does. And so I say to him, will you do this for free, or do I have to charge you? Because I know your time is precious. I know that, you're a very gifted prophet. Even though it would be the right thing to do for to save everybody's soul and not charge money for it, I know you're a busy man, and I know this work is very daunting, so do I owe you anything, or are we square? And how disgusting. Moby expected a check, so he got checked. And I wanted to make sure everybody in the room knew that this shit was real, and I wasn't playing anymore. So I kind of made him explode in front of the whole room. Like, surprise, you're all covered in guts. Like, this shit is real. You can die. If your friend getting kicked off the train wasn't enough for you, here you go. Shit is going down. So, you have the rest of them freaking out. You have Logan left. You have Cynthia left. And you have the 3 crazy little bitches left. Oh my God! Ah! Freaking out. Me and Damon roaring in our little room, throwing popcorn at each other. Like, look at this one throwing up because he's got brain cuts on his face. Laughing hysterically. Are we heartless? Probably. But for the meantime, we're on the hell train. So, our intentions are supposed to be dark. And like I said, we roll with it. Damon is used to being a dark asshole. I only get to be a dark asshole on this train. So, as I said, I let my freak flag fly. Because they deserve it, and God asked me to. I do what I'm told. I don't make the rules. So, we're going into the last phase. We've made them out most of their sins. We've tested their choices and the subconscious and their soul. We've tested to see if they've learned anything. But now we want to see what's going to happen when we put them back into the world and society. So, again, we do a little mind fucking. And we actually let you think that the train stopped and that the game is over and that you're getting off. And for some reason, they all have to stay in this, because it's Hell Train, it's got to be a creepy dive motel. It's not like a nice ritzy, it just happens to be there. Everyone's like, whatever, as long as it's not on this train, I don't give a shit. So they go and they get their rooms in the motel. They check in, they take showers, they eat down in the diner across the way there. They get some drinks at the bar next to it, and they're like, I can't believe we lived, and we're all talking about it at the table. And that's when, dun dun dun, the test starts. See, because they see their server as someone else, but it's really me. And Damon is like the bouncer or the line cook, and we're listening to everything you're saying. Everything you're not saying, your actions, your intentions, and we allow you in your mind, as you're sitting in those seats, you think, you finish the meal, you say what you gotta say, you're doing what you gotta do, you get up, you go home. In your mind, you live about a good 3 days. And if I don't like what you did in those 3 days, bye. And do you think any of these people made it off the train? Because remember, if you pass this, you actually do wake up on that 3rd day in your home. This is the last test. So, if you do what you're supposed to, if your heart changed, if your morals change, if you realized your sins and you're genuinely trying to change yourself and your heart is changed, we will know it. And you will get to continue on your life as if you did get off that train that day, because you did. And if you don't, you get dragged back by your soul. You die in a horrific way, like on the way to work in an auto accident. Plane accident, you get stabbed by your lover, depending on how vicious you are. But let's talk about the people that were there. So, the people we have left is Cynthia Cates, the reporter. So, Cynthia gets off the train. She eats with everyone. The next day she books a flight home. And the first thing she does is start a book about Hal's train and the people that died on it. Of course, leaving all her secrets out, but exposing everyone else's. Twisting the story to make her look like she survived this horrific thing. Victimizing herself. Same vein asshole. So, Queen of Wands, I allowed the book to be published. And I allowed her to go to her book signing. And instead of people throwing fruit at her, they threw knives. And she never woke up from the illusion. Because she never got off Hal's train. Her idea of what was going to go down after all of her experiences wasn't conducive to how I feel like she should have lived her life. So, bye, Cynthia. You won't be missed. At least not by me in your dark heart. So then we have Logan. So he goes back and, Logan for a day or so genuinely cries, breaks down, thankful, calls his family who he hasn't talked to in years. Of all the people to change, I did not expect Logan to be the one that actually took shit from it. Like, this is somebody who never gave a homeless person $1, never donated to a charity. He's given money left and right. It's like Scrooge when he woke up after the Christmas Carol. So, Logan, happy ending for Logan. He really did wake up in his house and to this day is genuinely a good person and no longer embezzles money. We did make him do some jail time, minor. There is consequences to actions, but he only had to serve 6 months for something that would have put him in jail for life because he changed. The ghost train, different train, different day. Hal train can be a pro for your life. You make it for bad reasons, but it's because we see the potential in you. You are a gifted soul. You just chose the dark side. This is your last opportunity to choose the light, and if you do, we give you that opportunity to run with forever, unlike the dark side and Damon. Okay? Keep saying good old Damon is not so good. Not on the Hell train, not off it. Keep that in mind. So, Logan lives, Cynthia dies. What happened to the Flower Girls? Well, since we all know they were never seen again, it's very clear that they also failed their test. I got crafty. See, in all the confessions, I never made the girls confess their manager story. I gave them the exact same scenario in modern times. I offered them a sweeter management deal. And I set up the same scenario where they couldn't get out of a contract, and I waited to see what would happen. They got crafty. Instead of framing the manager for a sex scandal and putting him away for life, they framed him for attempted murder. They got worse. Out of the history of Hell Train, I had never had this happen by 3 people at once. They are my worst failure. I don't like talking about the Flower Girls. And I made them suffer horrifically. One got squashed by a train like a penny, like a lucky penny. One got hit by a tractor trailer and the same thing happened. And one got hit by a boat while she was swimming. I had to get very creative. I made sure the motor went right across her face because she was the most vain and the most dark. And you think I'm a malicious asshole. Well, let me tell you, when you are the angel of death and you can see souls the way I see, well, you would make the same call. But the moral of the story is, don't wind up on Hell Train. You don't ever want to see me there. Like I said, you want to bump into me in the hospital, in your bed, walking around the streets, not knowing you're about to die. I make it good for you. Hell Train, I let my freak flag go. And you won't like it. And Damon's always a freak, so you definitely won't like it. I hope you learned. We shall see if I ever see you on my docket for the next trip of Hell Train. See you next time. Or see you on the last day of your life. Toodles! Just kidding. Happy Halloween, everybody. I hope you liked this one. If you did, hit the like button. How was that for a last Halloween story? I will bring these back next year, the Spooktacular Halloween Stories. If you want me to continue on with scary stories, let me know. But I would like to gear more towards Thanksgiving stories. Let me know if you want some of those stories by hitting the like button, talking to me in the comments. Just let me know. I like doing these. Until next time, thank you so much for playing with me. I had a great time. I'm sorry I got COVID and I couldn't do as much. Hopefully next year I'll get to spit out more. But like I said, I had a great time. I appreciate you so much for giving me a chance and having a little creative fun. And test yourself. See what you can come up with. Be creative. Create. Go forth and prosper with your genius minds. I love you all. Bye.